Hi, I'm Zola, and this is the Classical Reformer Beginner Order. I am not on a classical reformer today, but I am using a personal hour reformer because we make do with what we have, right? Um, Footwork is the first exercise, and for footwork, on this reformer, am using 2 red, a blue, and a yellow, which is 2 heavy, a medium, and a light. Of course, in a classical reformer, you would just use your 4 springs. Let's start standing. I am at an angle to the front corner of my reformer, and I am stacking my arms like a genie, heels together and toes apart. This is how we get on the reformer. Start to bend the knees, standing up very tall, and then place yourself down on your reformer, hopefully a little bit more gracefully than I did. Starting on the toes, heels together and toes apart. Before you push out, just make sure your back ribs melt down into the mat and your tailbone is nice and heavy. Take an inhale to prepare, and exhale, press that carriage out and pull the carriage in. And we start moving. So as for your breath, I told you to exhale as you press out, but you can very well do the opposite breath. You can inhale to press out, exhale to pull in, mimicking the springs. Let's do one more here. Press out and pull in, pause, and change to the arches of the feet. Legs and feet are together. I'm wrapping my toes over, pressing the heels down, and I continue to press out and pull in. Now, if you feel like legs squeezing all the way together hurts the knees, maybe you're a little knock-kneed, separate the feet, fist width apart, totally fine. If you're able to hug those legs together, it's super nice because you have that nice midline connection, something to press into. Let's do one more here. Pause and change to the heels. Heels on the foot bar, flexing the feet. Make sure, again, that tailbone is heavy. Start pressing out. Check really quickly to make sure your feet are centered on that foot bar, and then bend your knees. Pressing out and pulling in. Your pinky toes are pulling back toward your face just as much as your big toes are. I'm hugging my seat in toward the center, or hugging my outer hips in toward the center for 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way in, and we do tendon stretch. So just like we started, go onto the toes with heels together and toes apart. Press the carriage out, standing tall in those legs. So 2 straight and strong legs. The knees never bend as you lower your heels down and lift your heels up. So you go down, 2, 3, and up, 2, 3. As I lower my heels down, I almost think of my spine growing taller. And that inherently kind of makes my belly pull in and up a little bit more because I'm finding that 2-way reach. Again, I have that hug of the seat, working the ankles, the calves. This should still be a whole body workout. One more time, down and up. Bend your knees, carriage comes all the way in. Now, since I don't have a classical reformer, I'm going to put my feet on the platform, reach the arms up, and roll myself all the way up to seated just to stay connected. Now, I'm turning around, lowering the foot bar. If you have your classical reformer, you don't have to change your springs, but I do for the 100 because all my springs aren't even. So I'm going to go to 2 red springs, which are 2 heavy springs. I'm going to bring myself back down and grab the loops behind me. I have a set of long and a set of short. I will grab a hold of the short and scooch my body away from the shoulder blocks. I'm bringing both of my knees to the chest. I'm bending my elbows in toward my ribs, and then I curl my chest up, forehead to knees. For the 100, I stretch the arms and the legs to straight, heels together, toes apart, and start pumping. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale. And we do ideally 10 breaths, 100 pumps. But if you're truly a beginner, you don't have to do that many. Also, if legs going straight forward is too much on the low back, maybe lift the legs straight up to the ceiling or just bring them into tabletop. But keep the reach of the arms, keep the pumps going, keep the breath going, and you're still doing the 100 as long as you're breathing and pumping. And even if you have a shoulder issue, if you're not pumping and you're just breathing, you're still doing the 100. Let's do 3 more breaths here. I haven't counted. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Just like we got into it, we get out of it, bending the knees, the elbows, and resting the head. From here, if you have your classical reformer, you will be adding your extension straps right about now. Otherwise, I'm just placing my feet in the longer set of loops. Arms long by your sides, bring the knees to the chest. We go into leg circles and frog. Press your legs out to a high diagonal and really press the bottoms of the feet into the straps. I'm standing very tall here. I start to lift my legs up, open them only the width of my shoulders, press them down and in. So I circle up and around. And my job here is to keep stability in my spine and in my pelvis. So I'm not rocking my hips up and down or letting my tailbone lift off of the mat. Let's do 3 more this direction. Up and around for 3. Squeeze the heels together before they lift. Up and around for 2. Keep pushing the feet into the straps as the legs lift for 1. The legs to come together and up. And you reverse those circles. We go down, open, up, and squeeze. Hitting all points of that circle without moving those hips. That's the hardest part. People like to move the spine around and make their circles bigger, but that defeats the purpose of your leg circles. Let's do 2 more this direction. 1 more. Heels together, bring those legs to a high diagonal. Again, push into those straps. Feel the abdominals and the belly button pull in and back in the opposite direction of your feet, pushing into the straps. We do frog. Bend, inhale. Exhale, press. Good. Inhale, bend. Exhale, press. Same rules apply here. Can you bend your knees without letting your butt curl off the mat? See how my butt came off the mat? We do not want that. I'm keeping a very heavy tailbone here, and I'm trying to draw a straight line with my heels in and out. For 3, and press. Collarbones wide. Try to look straight up to the ceiling, keeping the front of the throat open. 1 more time, bend, press out, and then we finish. Bend the knees, slide those loops off of your feet, let the carriage come home, put the loops on, and roll yourself all the way up. So I am grabbing my sticky pad so that I can do stomach massage. So the sticky pad goes to the front of the carriage. I'm lifting my foot bar back up. Still getting used to this reformer. And I'm actually putting this not in the same position I had it for footwork because I have that option. Of course, if you have a classical reformer, you don't have that option. But because there's not a lot of space in the spring area where the carriage ends with this reformer, I'm letting the foot bar go down so my hip flexors have more space. So I'm sitting on my pad facing the foot bar. I'm getting as close to the front edge of this reformer as possible. I place my toes, actually springs, 4 springs on a classical reformer. On this reformer, I'm doing 2 red, a blue, and a yellow, which is 2 heavy, a medium, and a light. And then I place my toes on the foot bar, heels together and toes apart. Find a lift through the sides of the waist. This is the hardest part, I think. Finding the lift and not crunching into the low back, but still grabbing the front of the carriage and rounding the spine. If you're familiar with the mat work, you're thinking rolling like a ball here. So lifting but staying rounded. You press the carriage out with 2 straight legs. You lower the heels. You lift the heels and you bend your knees. You press out, heels down, heels up, and bend. This is an exercise where rhythm saves a lot. You don't want to move too slowly. When you push the carriage out, you push with power from your powerhouse, from your core. Let's do 4 more. Press 4, heels down and up and bend. Push 3. Push 2, down and up. 1 more time, push out, down and up. Once you come in, I am taking off my lightest spring. If you're on a classical reformer, just take off 1 spring, and we do stomach massage flat back. Reaching the arms back, holding to the tops of the shoulder blocks. If you're a hyperextended person, try to not hyperextend those elbows. So soften the elbows, lift through the chest. The movement is the same. Press out, heels down, heels up, bend your knees. Press and push. Keeping those heels glued together just like footwork. We're kind of combining footwork, toes, and tendon stretch with this position. 4, down and up, bend in, and 3, down and up. 2 more. Keep the lift through the sides of the waist. 1 more time. Carriage comes in, pause, take off a spring. I'm taking off my next lightest spring, and I'm doing reach. So my arms are reaching on a high diagonal. Don't let those knees fall open to the side. Hug those inner thighs and have the knees about shoulder width apart. No lower lift. We just press straight out, grow tall, and come in. Almost think of growing taller as the carriage comes in. Good, push. And pull the carriage in. 2. And in. Let's do 1 more here. Press. And come all the way in for a nice stretch. You can hold on to the foot bar, go parallel with your legs, and take a little stretch here. Bring the carriage in. And because we don't have a ladder barrel here, I'm going to do Swan on the reformer. So I'm lifting the foot bar back up to my footwork position and grabbing my long box. So this is just a variation. If you have the barrel available to you, use it. Come onto your stomach. I'm taking off, I'm actually going to use a blue spring here. That's a medium weight spring. And lining up my nose with the foot bar, placing the hands on the foot bar. Now open your legs the width of the box to make sure you're even on top of that box, and then squeeze the legs together. From here, before you even start, let's set you up for success. Think of the tailbone lengthening down toward your heels, which naturally kind of pulls your hip points off of the box. The belly button is pulling in and up, and my shoulders, of course, are wrapped onto the back. Hands are on the foot bar, about shoulder width apart. Let's just start by pressing the carriage out and bending the elbows in. Now, what we're trying to avoid is pushing out so far that the shoulders shrug up into the ear. See how I'm lifting my shoulders? Try to keep the shoulders wrapped onto the back, the crown of the head lengthening forward as you bend the elbows and press up. Good. 1 more time like this. Press the arms out to straight. Now, think of picking up the stomach off of the box, lengthening the crown of the head forward even more, and lifting up into a swan. Good. I'm presenting my collarbones forward, and then I bring myself down. For your breath, you inhale as you lift. Pull the stomach up and away from the box. Even if it doesn't leave the box, we just don't want to sink into the low back. We don't want the low back to get closer to the box as we lift up into swan. 2 more here. Inhale, lift. The carriage will start to move toward the foot bar naturally. Exhale, lower. 1 more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Bend your elbows and come all the way in. Step off to the side. Let's do short box now. For this particular reformer, I'm keeping the short box in front of the shoulder blocks and adding a spring to just stabilize the carriage, so it doesn't matter which one. I don't have a pole. If you have a pole, you can go ahead and grab it. And I'm placing my feet under the strap that's right in front of the springs. So press the outer ankles or the feet into the strap. I don't want the legs together. I want them to press apart, which engages my outer hips and stabilizes my pelvis. I give myself a hug around the waist, and we do short box round. Curl the tailbone under. See, I'm moving from my pelvis first, from the very bottom. And I start to round back, literally sliding my tailbone forward on this box. Keep pushing into the strap, and then roll yourself up. I'm rounding forward just like I rounded back. Good. Sit up tall, and we do it again. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, roll yourself down. I'm sliding the tailbone forward. Good. I'm hugging my seat in. Round the spine to come up, and then sit up tall. Again, curl the tailbone under. I'm reaching the waistband of my pants to the box behind me on the way back, and on the way up, I try to keep the waistband of my pants reaching to that box for as long as possible, and then sit up tall. Now for flat back, since I don't have a pole, I am stacking my hands behind my head, one on top of the other, and pushing the head and the hands into each other, wrapping the shoulders onto the back. So my elbows aren't going to be wide to the sides because that pushes my ribs forward, and I want my front ribs to hug into the back ribs. Now for flat back, continue to push into the straps with the outer edges of the feet. No more round. Hinge yourself back, long through the spine, and then bring yourself right back up. Sometimes you'll start to feel the shakes in your abdominals when you do this one. Inhale to go back. Exhale, bring yourself up. Let's do 2 more times like that. Find length through the sides of the waist. Inhale, tip yourself back from your pelvis. Don't let the upper back move without the pelvis. And bring yourself all the way back up. Again, hinge yourself back. And reach it on up. Good. From here, we do side to side. So I don't have a pole. If you have a pole, you'll just be holding that pole. I'm hooking my thumbs, hands are like a butterfly, and reaching my arms up to the ceiling. Again, I'm hugging my seat and finding length through the sides of my waist, but this time hinging a little bit forward. I'm going to side bend to the right, anchoring my left hip down, finding length through the right side of the waist still, so I'm not crunching here. And then I come back to center. This one's quite difficult for me. It's hard to find the length and the reach at the same time, keeping the anchored pelvis on that box. And then I come center. And then I go up and over to the right. It's a nice stretch. And then up and over to the left. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Rest your arms if you need. Shake it out a little bit. And then we reach those arms right back up again. So I'm hooking my thumbs the other way and reaching the arms up for twist and reach. Let's just do the twist first. So stacking your shoulders over the hips so I'm not leaning forward, nor am I leaning back. I'm straight up and down, hopefully. And then I twist the ribs just to the right. Good. Watch your hips. Did you twist and then pull your hip back with you? That's what we're trying to avoid. So as you come center, press into the strap a little bit more. Can you twist to the left without pulling your left hip back? Think right hip back, left hip forward when you twist left. Good. Come center. It's that oppositional direction. Twist right. Good. One more time. Lift. Find that hug of the seat, hug of the glutes, and then twist left. Come center, rest your arms, shake it out, and we add on to that for twist and reach. So lift those arms up, sit up tall, twist your ribs to the right, hinge yourself back on that high diagonal. I'm twisting right, but my left hip is anchored. Come all the way up in center. Now, as I twist to the left and reach, my right butt cheek stays on the mat, so I'm not lifting my butt off of the mat. Come up in center. Good. One more each direction. Sit up super tall. Twist and hinge back. Push into the straps. Come center. And then again, inhale, twist. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come up. And exhale, center. Rest the arms again. Whew, that one's a toughie. Alrighty, tree. I'm keeping my left foot in the strap and I'm taking my right foot out of the strap, hugging that knee to the chest. I'm stacking my palms. I'm pulling the thigh bone as close to my chest as I can keep a tall spine. That is going to look different for everyone. Try to not lean back and try to not crunch. So I'm sitting tall. I stretch my leg up to the ceiling. I bend my knee. I stretch my leg up. I bend my knee. I do that one more time. This is called limbering. Stretch up and hold. Now, keeping your tall spine, can you walk your hands as high up the leg as your spine stays tall? Now, let's flex the foot here and reach the forehead to the knee by rounding the spine and pulling the rib cage back. Good. Again, hug your outer hips in and take this whole shape back. The strap down there will catch you. Keep hugging the seat. And then climb your hands down to your thigh as you sink your waist, just like short box round. Climb your hands up to the ankle or whatever you can reach, but keep the spine rounded. Bring this whole shape back up and sit up tall. We do that 2 more times. I bring my forehead toward my shin by pulling my rib cage and my stomach back in opposition. I take this whole shape back. The strap catches me. I hug the seat as I walk the hands down to the thigh, sinking the waist, round the spine to bring my hands back up. Bring the whole body forward and then sit up tall. Again, round your spine. Take the shape back. Take your hands down to your thigh bone. Climb yourself back up. Keep your hands light on the leg. Bring the body forward. Sit up tall. And then bend that knee so we can switch sides. So left knee comes to the chest or whatever side you didn't just do. Stack those palms and then pull the thigh as much to the chest as you can keep a long spine. Start to stretch the leg, limber the leg 3 times. Stretch up and bend. 1 more time, stretch up and hold. Climb to the ankle, flex the foot, and round the spine, bringing the forehead to the knee. Take the shape back, hug the seat. That kind of squares the hips off. My top leg is externally rotated, dropping that left hip down. I climb my hands down as I sink my waist to the well. I round my spine as I bring my hands up. I bring this whole shape forward and I sit up tall. 2 more times. Round the spine, forehead toward the shin. Take the shape back. Climb the hands down. Try to keep the waistband of your pants where it is as you climb the hands up. And then again, take the shape forward and sit up tall. 1 more. Round, rib cage and waist pulls back. Hinge yourself back. As I climb my body down to the well, I'm reaching my heel up to the ceiling. Every Pilates exercise has a 2-way reach. Climb back up, forehead toward the knee. Bring the shape forward and sit up tall. Let's bend that knee and take our box back. Short box is done. So next is elephant. For elephant, the foot bar is up. I'm on 2 springs. I'm going to actually change it to a heavy and a medium spring on this reformer. Hands go on the foot bar, and you're standing on top of your reformer. Heels, back of your heels up against the shoulder blocks. Arms are shoulder width. Now what I do here is I pick up my knees or pick up my quads off of my knees, right? So I'm lifting in the front of the legs. I'm driving the heels down and picking the toes up. As for my upper body, I'm rounding the spine, wrapping the shoulders onto the back. Ideally, I have an even curve from the crown of my head to my tailbone, but everybody's curve is going to look different. I'm reaching my tailbone to the floor here. So I inhale to press the carriage out. I exhale to pull the carriage in. Again, inhale out, exhale, pull. Inhale, press, exhale, pull. I'm thinking of pressing the carriage back with my hamstrings and in with my stomach. It's very tempting to kind of lift the back of the head up, but keep your head heavy like a heavy bag of sand. Good. Inhale out, exhale in. Maybe we go a little faster if you have the control for 5. And in. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. 1 more. Now from here, we go into knee stretches. Now I have knee issues, so I might look a little delicate doing this, but climb your feet up the shoulder blocks, round your spine, and carefully bring your knees all the way down to the mat. The bottoms of the feet are pressing into the shoulder blocks, and I keep the spine rounded, just like I did for elephant, wrapping the shoulders onto the back. Now from here, pushing into the heels, press the carriage out, knees under hips, and pull the carriage in. Take it out and in. Accent on the in part of the movement. In and in. 5 more. 4, 5. Keep the hips pretty close to the heels here. 3 and 2 and 1. Pause. Let's do flat back. So open the chest, stick the tailbone back a little bit more toward the back of the reformer, less to the floor, and continue in your flat back. Out for 10 and 9. So we don't want to lift the hips too far, right? Keep them pretty close to the heels. Good. For 5 and 4. Out and in. out and in. One more, bring it in and hold. Knees off. I shift the weight forward just a little bit. Go back to that rounded spine and then try to hover the knees off of the mat. Maybe that's all you do today. You lower the knees and you hover the knees. That's already hard enough. If you're continuing, hover and hold and press the carriage out and in. So my focus is at the headrest here. I'm keeping that rounded upper back, tailbone reaching down toward the floor for 5 and 4. Lots of quads here. 3 and 2 and 1. Carefully come down. Good. Step off to the side. We do a spring change. So back to your footwork spring. So like I said before, I have 2 red, a blue and a yellow, which is 2 heavy, a medium and a light. Lie down. For running, the headrest is up, legs and feet are together. Push the carriage out. We are on the toes, 1 heel down, 1 heel up. I lift both heels to switch. Lift and switch. And then we add some pace. Switch and switch. Switch and switch. For 8 and 8. 7, 6. This is like your cool down. 5, 4, 3, 2. 1 more. Lift both heels, stand tall. Bring the carriage in and take the arches of the feet to the corners of the foot bar. I have a slight turnout or external rotation in my hips, and I curl the tailbone under just enough to get my pelvis off of the mat. My back ribs are heavy, and my focus is straight up to the ceiling as I press the carriage out and I drag that carriage in. Good. So you're working that carriage out. You're working that carriage in all the way to the stopper every time. 3 more. 2 more. Arms are reaching long. You have nice wide collarbones here. Open through the tops of the hips. Pull the carriage in. Roll the spine down. And you are finished. Beautiful job with your beginner reformer order today. That is something that you work on time and time again. Even if you're an advanced mover, you come back to the beginner order, you get those foundations in your body, and you'll be able to do harder stuff in the long run. Thank you for joining me today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.